Today I'm joined by David Browne. David is the managing director and owner of Browne Scaffolding, which is a company delivering complex scaffolding solutions for residential, commercial and industrial projects, not only across the UK, but also across Europe as well. So, hi, David.
Hi, Simon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Thanks very much for joining us today. So, David, for anyone who doesn't know Browne Scaffolding, just give us a bit of an overview of how you would describe what you do, who you do it for, but
Yeah.
also what makes you different.
Let's start from the beginning. We've been going since 2008, I think it is. So me and my wife own the company. Lorraine, she's the accounts director. Basically, we started off because basically I got fed up with travelling to London every day and working. You know what I mean? It gets tired.
Yeah.
I was there for 5 years. Ended up a contracts manager for a larger company in London, and went on holiday 3 weeks, and then handed my notice in and come back to Ashford, where I live near there, and went to work for an old firm used to be in Ashford for a month, and nothing had changed. So had a bit of savings from working in London. I bought a Nissan Cabstar actually and started off that way, and then built the company as we went on. Now we've got two companies actually, Simon, which is Browne Scaffolding Ltd and Browne's Gerustonbouw GmbH, runs as the group. We do various projects, we do events, we do loads of events. Well, we used to. Now we're more concentrated on Germany and England, but it's good fun. You know, you have your ups and downs, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. Like most businesses, ups and downs. So, okay, so let's delve a little bit deeper into what you said there, because look, you said, you know, Browne Scaffolding, as you said, it's grown significantly over the years. But tell us a little bit about what first, you know, when you first started the business, what inspired you to launch it? You sort of described that, yeah, you didn't want to commute up to London and nothing had changed in that other company, but why set up your own business? Why not just move to another company?
Yeah, you could move to another company, but with the skills I learned through the years of working for different people and things like that, it gets a bit boring. You're going into an office and it's the same thing, and you get your bonus and things like that. But there's pride in your work, but not as much as pride as owning your own company.
Yeah.
So we wanted more out of life. We just carried on as when we moved back to Ashford and went for this month with this other firm, and I was like, it just hadn't changed for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was more health and safety wise and stuff like that. And there was it's like you have pride and what's the word, Simon? It is objections through life that you have to achieve. I've always done it.
Nice.
It's we started the company and we had like £20,000. That's it.
Yeah.
We actually brought the truck from a gypsy site near Brands Hatch and came with a cockerel.
Okay.
So that's how you start a company, and we own everything, and we still pay for everything now. So we don't have debt, and we keep it small enough to manage, but grow in a certain size, because it's not for just now; it's for the future. So it's your achievements in life is how you set as a person.
Yeah. So to put this in context for people listening, you know, you started off with one van with a cockerel, £20,000.
Yeah.
To give us an idea of the scale of where you are now.
Yeah.
How many people employ now?
The idea where I am now is we have a fleet of roughly 25 vehicles. We've got roughly 70 staff, 11 in the office. included in that 70. We hold a various stock of tube and fitting, system scaffolding through to both companies. Where we are now, like in 2000, and when we come out of COVID, I thought, oh, let's have a go at events because it was quiet. We was losing money because of COVID. But then what happened was we got to do the Commonwealth Games sign.
Oh,
So
wow.
we went and built that basically. We built over 400 structures there,
Wow.
invested a few million into it, and done that. Then we've done a few more events. Then we sort of come away from the events of 2000 and when did COVID start? 2020. So the Christmas of 2021, I started a project in Paris.
Right.
Was there for a year. Then I moved to Germany, and now we've got offices and yard, and we employ German people, Slovakian people, some English, and we've got roughly 20 staff there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
So, great. So look, thanks for putting that into to context of where you've come from,
yeah,
where you are now, and what you've achieved. So thinking back to those early days,
yeah.
what
From
was the
the
what was the biggest challenge that you faced getting the business off the ground?
the biggest challenge was earning the money and get paid, and it still is these days to a certain effect. The cash flow is king.
Yeah.
Cash flow is king.
Yeah.
You don't need to borrow money; you just do it slower. You know what I mean? It depends how fast you want to go and how big you want to be, but we do okay with what we've got. You know what I mean? And you have to basically level head and
Yeah.
don't get too greedy and spend too much money.
Yeah.
We can all go and lease a car. Oh yeah, I've got a Defender. You know what I mean? But it's lease. It's another bill a month. So
Yeah.
when you go quiet, there's nothing there. So where do you find the lease money? So we own everything.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
there's a difference. We haven't got. I ain't even got an overdraft sign. Never
Yeah.
had. You know what I mean? So we've took it easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my advice to people is take it slow, and you will reap the rewards later on. But in scaffolding, it takes at least 10 years
Yeah. Okay.
actually earn money.
Yeah, like yeah, I could get that. It does, like, and this is one of the phrases that I heard is somebody said to me once is, "Isn't it amazing how long an overnight success takes?"
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
people look at businesses and go, "Well, that was an overnight success," but actually
yeah,
they don't see the previous, as you say, 10 years of hard
yeah,
work and
yeah,
graft that was put in place to
yeah,
achieve
that's
that
right, yeah.
overnight
You
success.
don't, you earn a wage,
Yeah,
but for the first, tell you the truth, for the first 4 years, my wife supported us. She
yeah,
had a good job and she supported us, and she done the invoice at night. So it's all about teamwork as well.
yeah, good.
But you need to go. I've been married 30 years, so it's a long time. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of we work together and we're married. Do you know what I mean? So I'm the salesman,
Right.
but pure scaffolder originally.
Okay.
Still got all my certs and still can do it because you never know when something goes wrong.
So let's focus on that for a second, because obviously, as the business has grown,
Yeah,
your role has changed.
yeah,
You're now the managing director.
yeah.
What does your role day to day look like now compared to the early years?
Oh Jesus! I was the MD and on the tools, in the holes. Yeah, I was out like 14, 15 hours a day. So it's to now I'm in the office 5 days a week,
Yeah.
but then I do the traveling, I do the meetings. I spend probably a week or a month in Germany as well, and I don't get involved in finances to a certain degree. I get involved in winning the work, frameworks, and things like that. It's that's why you have staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have staff because you can't take all the pressure yourself, so you spread it around. You take less as earnings, but you need the staff to back you up. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, you'll just drive yourself crazy. There's a lot of people out there what try and do everything themselves, and you can't. You know, it's you need a good team around you, and I've got a good team. We've had a bad team, as we had before, and we changed the scenario, and you just build on that, and it's been good for the last few years around us. You know, it's now we're building again.
I think that's really important, isn't it? That you know, you mentioned there, surround yourself by a great team. You know, you mentioned that earlier with your wife Lorraine. You were a small team, but you were a team at the
Yeah,
beginning. Now you've got a team, and you've surrounded yourself by great people. And
yeah,
you know, I always believe that you know you can grow a business to a certain level through
yeah.
sheer hard work and determination and that sort of. But once you get to that level, you need a team around you to take it further and move it on.
If you don't trust your team, there's something wrong. I've had teams that are not very good. You make mistakes in your choices of people,
Yeah,
but once you've got that team, you can build on that,
yeah,
and that's the way you carry on. And you've got to build trust into people because I'm 54 now, so later on in life, I'm not going to want to be here. So, and you've got to let them run your company. So, and that's the end goal, really. You know what I mean? It's or you sell it. But you know, you work all your life, and you think you either sell it or take a wage as your retirement.
Well, I mean, I think this is it. We're all going to exit our businesses at some stage. It's whether that exit is through design or whether
Yeah,
it's forced or illness or death or something like that. But we will all exit our business at some
yeah,
stage.
that's right. Yeah,
So it's
and
just
you have
yeah, exactly. So
to. It's,
so what would you say is the biggest challenge for you running the business right now?
the biggest challenge at the moment is cash flow
Okay, yeah,
because it has a knock-on effect. When people don't pay us, we can't pay other people.
yeah,
And it extends the period that you owe them money, people owe you money. That's the biggest balance because if you're owed whatever sum and it's late by 30 or 40 days, then by that time you owe more money out and it's never ending gap. So you say you get £100,000 in then, uh, but here you got to pay out 200. So you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's the hardest. That is the hardest thing. Yeah,
yeah.
and plus with us last couple of years is setting up the German company as well.
Mm,
It's taken nearly 2.5 years to get it right.
right. Okay.
It's a different beast. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way with lawyers, uh, craft, bowel system, German laws. But at the moment, in this present time, I think I'm the only one that actually has got a correct German company in Germany.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And I mean that as in quite a few different sectors of life.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's taken years.
Yeah.
It's taken years and a lot of money. So
That,
now we're trying to get it back now.
yeah. It doesn't surprise me. In my previous career, I worked for a number of financial institutions, a number of which were German
Yeah,
financial institutions. So, yeah, as you say, completely different environment, culture.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
everything.
They come into work at 10 on a Monday and
Yeah.
they're gone by 2 o'clock on a Friday. So you've only got that narrative to answer questions and be correct. And then you get an email from a German person and it's 12 pages long because it says everything you want to know, but you've got to answer that in the same reply. But it's taken him 4 weeks to do that email. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. There's a lot you have to do and put in place. I've got German people who work for me as well, so which I think is the correct thing. We
Yeah.
used to have a lot more English over there and stuff like that, but yeah, we used to do like 90-day work rule and stuff like this. But I don't bother doing it no more because we found that the people who go over there just think it's holiday.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's my business.
Yeah.
That's the trouble when you got to earn money. But yeah, it's exciting. You know what I mean? I last year I went to the biggest construction show in Europe, the Bauma, and that is just amazing place. And it's run by in Munich, so it goes on for a week, and you enjoy yourself, meet connections of different companies. And then I met a friend there. He tapped me on the shoulder and went, "Dave, what are you doing here?" You know what I mean? So that's key for this construction in Ashford. Right.
Yeah.
But the is you meet people. I mean, that's how I got my offices and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So look,
It's networking.
so you've been running a successful business for many years now.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned about building and growing a business?
Oh Christ! The biggest lesson I think is putting trust in people.
Right. Okay.
The trust in people in the correct person.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing, because there's always someone out there who doesn't like you doing well.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I made that mistake once.
Right.
So that was the biggest learning curve. And that was years ago now, but that was the biggest learning curve. And the cash flow is the biggest learning curve. And buying too much equipment. So, because you can spiral out of control.
Yeah.
As I, in 2000, oh Christ, going back years now, when I first started, I was doing nursing homes for a company.
Right.
And I hired the equipment and it just spiraled out of control. The hire companies they don't care. If there's one tube missing, they take off 10. You know what I mean? So, so I cut that out and just carried on buying. But then I met a friend from Gilray plant. They sold me a few £1 million worth of equipment, and I paid them monthly, and we had a good working relationship. And that person I will always remember. He's dead now.
Right.
He died a couple of years ago. Lovely person, and he helped me as I moved on through life.
That's
and
good.
I worked with him for nearly 10 years.
There's always those people that have a mark on your life, isn't there?
Yeah, and it was the same, husband and wife team.
Yeah.
Sarah's still around. She doesn't own the business anymore. She owns the property. And we still, every now and again, we have a chat and stuff like that, talk about old times.
Yeah.
He was great to us. He was exactly the same as me and my wife. They were.
Yeah.
So that's who helped me grow. You know what I mean? And that was upsetting. He died, but it was sudden heart attack, and that was it. But you never forget them people who help
you. Yeah. Yeah. No, I make you right. Absolutely. And so if Browne Scaffolding were to double in size over the next 3 to 5 years, what do you think would need to change inside the business to make that possible?
At the moment, nothing.
Yeah.
We can carry on with that. That's you add people. We're just taking on another QS in Germany to help with that out there to make it easier going forward. But we're just going for other frameworks as well. And I think the company will. I don't know if in the next 3 years it will be doubled in size. So but if everyone remembers, don't run before you can walk, because that's the worst mistake anyone can do. And we have done that, don't worry. And you make mistakes, but that's what we've learned through the years. Take it easy and just take it calmly with the money as well, because everyone can borrow money. You know what I mean? And you can get in debt so quick.
I think that's a great bit of advice, and that's quite often what I see working with companies that have found it difficult, is that they've tried to grow without having the right foundations in place.
Yeah, and
it's about getting the foundations in place, getting the structures in place.
Yeah.
Once you've got that, then you can scale, and it becomes easier to scale because you replicate the systems and processes that you've got in place. So,
that's a
great piece of advice there, Dave.
You've got to do that. We've done that with the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah,
we bought a lot of equipment, and it was hard work, but we done it. Just about got it done, ready for the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's an amazing experience. I would never ever forget that. We've done that, and that's, you know what I mean. I worked there on the course, and this is just back in 2021. and I had a German company going by then, or France then, and I'm on the tools. We moved house, and I had to stay there because I was building the basketball and the judo platform at Coventry Stadium.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The Coventry platform there was one of the last structures to go up, and we had to get it done, so I had to stay there.
Yeah.
So, and my wife moved on her own, and I was in a hotel in up country. So it's that was one of the hardest projects I've ever worked on. And
Sounds like it, with everything going on as well, in not just
yeah,
but your life as well.
Yeah. So it's you got kids, dogs, mums. You know what I mean? I have my mum live with me. We've got 2 dogs and kids. So it's it was very complicated 3.5 years ago.
I can imagine. Well, look, Dave, there's one question that I always like to ask everybody that's kind enough to join me on these discussions, and that's this: what is the best advice that you would give to an 18-year-old you?
18-year-old me. Oh Christ! I would have started the company earlier. Yeah, that would be my advice then.
Yeah.
I would have started a company earlier because when you own a company, there's a passion.
Yeah.
And I've still got that passion. I've owned the company for a long time, and I've still got that passion. I love it, even though if things go wrong or whatever. There's still pride that you've done it. I've looked after my children, my wife, my mum. I've built my mum a house out of the company. You know what I mean? So the goals, what you achieve. The children have learnt skiing. They go to certain schools. They play the violin and everything, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
So there's a pride in what you do. So if you're 18 years old, think of something that could make your dreams come true.
Yeah, like that.
And because there's always a dream you want to do. Even if we do apprenticeships, and my apprenticeships, I tell them all the way through, when you have finished your apprenticeship, you've got to trade.
Yeah.
And then you can move on there, because there's a whole world out there. Yeah. And if you don't go and see these places, you'll never know. Yeah. And that trade can take you anywhere. You can go to Mongolia scaffolding. You can go to Australia scaffolding. You can go to China scaffolding. Yeah. So there's various places. If you want to go to Mallorca and work in the marina there, you can scaffold. Yeah. It's a big, wide world. But it's a fantastic career, and it gives you options to earn 50k to 150k as working for someone.
And I love what you shared there, David. In the actually, when 18-year-old, when you're 18, think about what your dreams are and what you can do to achieve your dreams. I think that really resonated with me. So,
got to.
So look, David, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about your businesses, but also your journey as well. So, thank you very much.
No troubles at all, Simon. It's been good. It's nice to actually tell people